Right now, millions of families are asking the same worrying question. How long before meat and dairy become luxury items again? You open the fridge or walk through the supermarket meat aisle and the prices hit you hard. What used to be everyday staples, steak, chicken, milk, eggs, cheese, and yogurt, now feel like treats you have to think twice about buying. This isn't just normal inflation. It's the direct and immediate result of the 2026 energy crisis that is quietly turning animal products into something only the wealthy can afford regularly. Here's exactly what's happening. Oil has surged past $115 a barrel and shows no sign of coming down. The Strait of Hormuz remains effectively paralyzed. Shipping costs have exploded because tankers are forced to reroute all the way around Africa, adding weeks and millions in extra fuel and insurance. At the same time, the one thing every farmer needs to grow feed for livestock, fertilizer, is now in serious short supply. When energy prices spike this sharply, the extra cost doesn't stay at the gas pump. It travels straight down the food supply chain and lands right in your meat and dairy section week after week. Fertilizer is the hidden trigger almost nobody is talking about yet. The Arabian Gulf region supplies up to 46% of the world's traded urea and around 20% of all global seaborne fertilizers. With repeated attacks on energy sites and shipping routes blocked for weeks, those critical supplies have been badly disrupted. Fertilizer prices have already jumped between 21% and 41% in just the last few weeks alone. Farmers who raise livestock are now facing much higher costs to grow corn, soy, and other feed crops. And they have no choice but to pass every extra dollar straight on to you. Oil at $115 and rising is making the entire situation even worse at the same time. Diesel for tractors, trucks, and feed transport is significantly more expensive. Shipping reroutes add weeks and huge extra fuel bills. Insurance premiums have skyrocketed. Every link in the chain from farm to butcher counter and dairy shelf is getting more expensive simultaneously. This creates a perfect storm where multiple costs are rising together, pushing meat and dairy prices higher faster than most families can keep up with. The rise is already clearly visible in your weekly shop. Beef, chicken, pork, eggs, and dairy prices are climbing faster than they have in years. Analysts tracking wholesale markets say animal feed costs have jumped sharply because of fertilizer shortages, and those increases are now moving into retail prices. Many families are already noticing they are spending noticeably more for the same amount of protein, or they're buying cheaper cuts, smaller packs, or simply eating less meat and dairy just to stay on budget. The timeline is what worries experts the most. If the current Gulf disruptions last another 30 to 60 days, fertilizer shortages could tighten global supplies enough to push meat and dairy prices up 40 to 80% by late summer or early fall. Some forecasts are already showing food inflation in animal products hitting double digits across multiple major economies. The longer this energy war drags on without resolution, the faster these everyday proteins become luxury items again. For regular families, this means much tighter budgets, harder choices every single trip to the store, and real pressure on monthly household spending. Many people are already cutting back on red meat, switching to cheaper eggs or plant-based alternatives, rethinking family meals, or even reducing the number of times they eat meat and dairy per week. Some are turning to food banks or community assistance programs earlier than they ever expected. And the worst may still be coming if the crisis continues. Watch for 3 key signals in the coming days that could dramatically shorten the timeline and make meat and dairy prices rise even faster. Fertilizer prices jumping another 20% or more in a single week. Any new confirmed strikes on major Gulf export facilities, or oil pushing above $120 a barrel and holding there. Any one of those developments would signal that the pain at the meat counter is about to get much worse, much quicker. How long before meat and dairy become luxury items again? The next few weeks will likely decide how steep this climb gets, and exactly how much more of your hard-earned money will be needed just to keep protein on the table for your family. The numbers are moving in real time, and the impact is already showing up in your cart every single week.